Hey guys, welcome back to Core 4x4. This is a channel where we build rigs to off-road, we talk about suspension, we solve the common problems, and I just try to help you along the way by showing you some of the products that we use here at Core 4x4. If this is what you're looking for, hit the sub button and we'll get into the video. All right, we're starting a build project with the CarBuff Network guys and RockJock. They're dropping off their Jeeps, so we're gonna go out and meet them. I went the wrong way. I went literally right there. I didn't even see you guys. Spencer, hey. Nice to meet you. Will, is this Brock? Come on out, let's check out the Jeeps.
Really the biggest thing is probably the decal. I know what we were basing it off of.
Okay, we'll do some testing. We can always get powder pretty fast.
Anything close to that is fine.
Okay.
We do the color that you picked out though. I think we're okay with it.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, it's a total shock to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this to happen.
It's good. I'm glad we can make something happen. All right, guys, I am super excited to get into this video today because we got a ton on the docket. Like I said in the intro, we got 2 Jeeps in the studio and 2 weeks to build them up to get them ready for Jeep Jamboree in Tillamook, Oregon at the end of the month. So you can see in front of me, we got a ton of parts on the table. This is just one of our many partners on both these Jeeps. And I got Spencer here with CarBuff Network. Him and his brother Trent are really the whole reason we've come together on these 2 builds. So Spencer, tell me, what is CarBuff Network? What do you guys do? Why are we here?
So CarBuff Network is an online platform where on the simple end, people can highlight, show off their car builds, bring all their information together, show everyone that was involved in the build through pictures and descriptions and
just getting awesome builds out on the internet. They partner in all these awesome builds. We've seen the Wagoneer, which has been to SEMA. Tell me briefly about the Wagoneer, what you guys did.
we built a 79 Jeep Wagoneer, and we did that because in our family we had 3 different Wagoneers growing up. So in high school we drove Wagoneers. Our grandpa had purchased all 3 of them new, and so we've always loved Wagoneers. When we were all settled in our careers, we decided it was time to get back into the Jeeps.
So for this series, we do have a lot to do. This Jeep specifically, we're going from 3 to 4 inches. We're doing a custom long arm setup. We're doing a high steer setup. We're also adding anti-rock. We got a ton to do. We'll show you guys the whole build along the way, but for now, we need to get this Jeep in the air and start taking everything else off so we can put all those cool parts on. So let's get to it. All right, we got the Jeep in the air. The wheels are off. We're ready for teardown. But I wanted to pause here a second because we're gonna do something a little different on this Jeep that a lot of people don't know we offer here at Core 4x4. And that is, we're gonna be making custom arms to fit a long arm kit that's already installed. So if you have an old kit that's worn out that you no longer can get parts for, instead of ripping off your brackets, recutting, re-welding, and doing all that mess, you can simply swap the arms, and we really only need a few measurements to get it done. And really, this is something you can do at home with a tape measure, a notepad, and sometimes your phone for pictures to help us understand what you need. On any suspension setup though, there's generally straight parts like this one, and a lot of them have bends in them like this one. The bends are generally for clearance, either around your frame, your diff cover, your other arms. So we need to be able to understand where those bends are and how to replicate it for you. So between those 2 types, I'm gonna start with the easiest one, which is the straight arm. On any straight arm, track bar, steering linkage, we need 3 measurements. The first one is your center of bolt to center of bolt measurement, basically how long the arm is. A lot of people try to go too far and give us end to end. We just need center of bolt to center of bolt because that's all that matters when you're mounting this arm is where it's holding each end in comparison to the other one. All of our parts are adjustable, so if you get us within 1/8 to 1/4, we generally give tolerance on the downside to have some adjustment range around the measurement. So don't worry about it being perfect. Now the other 2 are your mount width and then your bolt hole size. Now the easiest way to get your mount width is with a tape measure. Generally it's just to go inside your mounting brackets, just the inside width. And a lot of those measurements are pretty standardized across Jeep, Dodge, and a lot of the other manufacturers where if you get us in the ballpark, we can generally help you narrow down on your mount width. And then the last one, of course, is bolt size. Bolt size is pretty standardized across a lot of the manufacturers. If you're unsure, we can help you through that as well. So with those 3 measurements, we can build a custom replacement arm in less than a week. And a lot of people don't know we offer that because we machine, we weld, we powder coat all here in Orem, Utah. So customization, it's easy for us. Now, for any bent part, it gets a little more complicated, but we still need those same 3 measurements, your bolt to bolt measurement, your mount width measurement, and your bolt hole size. But then we also need a little help understanding where your bends are at. The best way to get a bend measurement is to go from one of your center of bolts to the center of the bend. And again, if you get us close and give us an idea of your clearance, we can get you an arm that's gonna fit for you. We've been doing this for over 13 years. We can help you get a custom arm that's gonna fit. But to really help us understand your suspension and what you're going for, pictures for any bent setup, even for the straight ones, we just need pictures of the interference problem, whether it's tire clearance, clearance on your diff cover if you have some aftermarket setup, clearance on your frame if you're gonna contact a body mount frame, any of that. Pictures really help us understand your suspension setup so we can get you the right custom arm that's gonna fit your ride. Just reach out to sales@core4x4.com and we'll start the process and we'll get your arms taken care of. So for the JK behind me, Spencer's gonna come help me and we're gonna get all of our bolt to bolt measurements. We're gonna talk a little bit about how we're looking on the bends. There is some tire rub on his lower front, so we're actually gonna adjust the arms a little bit and move the bend closer to that, but we're gonna cover all that. So Spencer, come on over here, let's get measuring. Spencer's Jeep here has a mix of the different things. On the long arm kit, we got some bends on the front lowers and the rear lowers back there and the upper rears. The upper fronts have a slight bend in them too. So this is a perfect kit for us to kind of walk you through what we're looking for. Generally, bends are for the extreme end of clearance. So as long as you know kind of why the bend is there, we can help you walk through it. This is what I was talking about here. We have a little bit of tire rub here at the front of the arm. Noticing that, Spencer just tells us, hey, let's address that, make sure I'm not rubbing anymore because we're not changing any tires on here. You can do this by yourself with a tape measure and a notepad, but it really helps on longer arms just to have a friend. There's some tricks measuring bolt to bolt, especially with these hex heads. You can hold it center on the head and that works. Get us within 1/8 to 1/4. But there's something I wanted to address on bent arms, which is all these arms. Because this is an inward bend, meaning it's bending in away from us, we're gonna have a different length a lot of the times on the inside of the bend as opposed to the outside of the bend. Now, I won't get too far into it, just give us both sides and I'll show you. But basically, the math is you take your outside and your inside measurement, you add them together and split it in half. That's your true eye to eye when we're starting, and the bend affects that a little bit. Straight arms, you don't have to worry about the bend measurements, but on any bent arm, you do need your outside measurement bolt to bolt and your inside measurement bolt to bolt. Sometimes they're exactly the same, but sometimes they're not. Okay, Spencer's just gonna hold it on the center of his cap there. This is why it's a little more accurate with a friend because he can eyeball center a lot better than I can if I was holding this by myself. So our first measurement is 33 3/8. We're gonna pull to the back side. If it's the same, we're good. If it's different, we're gonna write both of them down. So we're at 33 3/8 on both sides, so we're good. All the Jeeps, 9 times out of 10, the long arm kits are gonna come with a 14 mil bolt on the lower or a 9/16 and a 2 5/8 mount width. And yep, we're 2 5/8. So we're gonna write that down. Front lower, 33 3/8. Okay, we're gonna check out the upper rears. I'm curious about that length, and it's also hard to measure on the outside of a bend. So for this one, we're sticking inside here. This looks like factory length. You got that, Spencer? We're right at 19. It's a little longer than factory. Factory's 17 3/8. But let's try the back here and just verify, because this has a more extreme bend. Okay, Spencer's on the center there, but you can see we're right about 19 3/4. And on the front, we were 19. So we're gonna split the difference. So this is a perfect example. We have a pretty extreme bend. It's a lot more pronounced than any of the other arms. And on the lower rears here, this is actually an upward bend for ground clearance. That's easy. It's the side bends that we really need to know the measurement and roughly where the bend is. 19 inches on the inside, 19 3/4 on the outside. 19 3/8 is our true center to center, but like I said, we give you some variance in there. So we're gonna call it 19 3/8, and then we'll subtract a little when we're making it for you. Okay, our mount width right there, 2 5/8 on the nose. Standard on Jeep is usually 2 5/8 mount width on the lowers, on the JK 2-inch mount width on the upper fronts, 2 3/8 mount width on the upper rears. But with any long arm kit, there are some manufacturers that change those on their bracket side. So always check. If you have the factory setup on the axle side, we're gonna know that for you. So we're gonna check these. 2 inches, yep. And I'm pretty sure, but I'm gonna put a tape measure on the upper rears. It's a shade under 2 3/8 because that bracket is actually collapsed a little bit, but that's 2 3/8. Okay. We got lowers, upper rears, we need upper fronts. 7.5 on that side. Let's check the other side. This one does have a side bend. Yeah, they're both really close. They're both about 27 5/8. All right, we got our measurements done. We'll probably be installing by Wednesday. So that's all we need for now. Let's get to tear down. Let's rip this Jeep apart. I know, see? Cool. I have never seen a JK rear track bar like this. Just pulled it off the JK, but like, how do you bend the rear like that? And it was like a smiley face. So it's not like it got hit on something. Like, you get hit from the side really hard or something. That's how you bend that. I don't know. Never seen that before. But we're replacing it. There we go. Look at that thing is trash. All right guys, Spencer and I killed it. We got the JK completely torn down, threw a couple ratchet straps on it so the axles don't go anywhere over the weekend. Up next, the JL is off for gears, fender liners, fender flares, bumpers, winch, everything else, and then it's gonna come back to us. But for now, we're gonna focus on the JK. So in the next video, we're gonna do all of the machining and bending and welding, all of that for the new custom long arm we're throwing on this. And then we're gonna start slapping parts on. So stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, we really appreciate you watching and checking out the content. Please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps us out in what we're doing here. And I'll catch you in the next one.